Hi, I'm Patricia Durgin, founder of ProfitFromYourMessage.com. Today I'm at the Greater Philadelphia Christian Writers Conference in Pennsylvania, speaking to, Julie Coleman, who is a published author, an award-winning author, and a faculty member here. Thanks very much for taking the time.
Thank you. I'm happy to be on.
Chat with you. First, if you would, tell us about your book, please.
Okay. The title of my book is Unexpected Love, and it's about the conversations that Jesus had with women in the New Testament. Each chapter is a conversation because Jesus said some really interesting, intriguing things that people might read at first glance and think that maybe he was a little dismissive toward women or even disrespectful because they were said in the culture of the first century. And so what I do is I go into those things. I research the cultural, the historical background. I talk about the Greek, the original meaning of the words. I have a master's in biblical studies, and then I talk about taking the principles that we can learn from those conversations and transferring them over to the 21st century and how they should impact us today.
That's all. So it sounds like it's both inspiring and deep theologically.
Yes, yeah, it is. There's a lot of really good meat in there, and I was actually really transforming myself writing the book because what I found out about Jesus, I just fell in love with him more and more, and it just was really life-changing for me.
And you've been a Christian for a long time, a Bible study leader for a long time. Tell us a little bit about your history.
Yeah, well, I've always been a Bible teacher on some level or another, and then the Lord I was a school teacher, and the Lord seemed to be calling me out and going into a speaking and writing ministry full-time, so I wanted to do it well, so I quit my teaching, put down my chalk, and went off and enrolled in seminary and got a degree in biblical studies, master's in biblical studies, so that I would be, well equipped to do the job he was giving me to do.
Did you know at that time when you did that he was going to have you write, or was it just to prepare you for speaking?
No, I was trying to write at the time, and what happened was I wrote a manuscript, and my pastor read it, and I was very proud of it, and he said, you tell a good story, Julie, but you're not very deep. And so I thought, okay, well, I'll get deep. So
I can't imagine somebody telling you that. So, I'm sure it was accurate, but in my mind, knowing you, I was like,
Well, not deep enough. And so that's what I wanted. I wanted the meat. I wanted to really go after that kind of thing.
And you came to this conference, the Greater Philadelphia Conference, and for your first conference.
Yes.
And tell us about your journey at this specific conference.
Well, I started off as a writer, scared to death, meeting editors with a stomach ache and shaky, sweaty hands. But I started to network, and this conference did a lot for me. The first thing it did was it really helped me to understand the business of writing and publishing. It helped me develop my craft. It gave me wonderful networking opportunities. I knew a lot of editors by the time it was all said and done, and it just was a really, it's a whole world. Yes. Publishing is a whole world, and you have to learn it in order to be able to function in it. And so for me, it was several years of attending workshops and that kind of thing. And then as I got better at writing, pitching manuscripts and things. And then I finally got my first big break and meeting someone who ended up giving me an opportunity to sign with an agent. And then that agent got me my first contract, and that was with Thomas Nelson, which is the largest Christian publisher. So it was really exciting to go from, the beginning to now. And now I'm on the other side of the table, and I'm helping writers come along and develop their craft. So it's just been a full circle for me.
And this summer you won an award?
I did. Unexpected Love. Got Nonfiction Book of the Year in the Golden Scroll Awards. And it's the organization is Advanced Writers and Speakers Association. Exactly.
And what about your website?
My website is unexpectedgod.com, and what I do is I just glory in taking people into Scripture and showing them aspects of God that they may not have fully understood before, and broaden how awesome He is for them, so that they can just love Him more.
Beautiful, beautiful. So from absolute newbie all the way to award-winning writer, it all happened as a result of the context Christ gave you at this particular conference.
Yes, it did. I'll always be grateful.
And now you're faculty. And this year, what are you teaching at the conference?
I'm teaching a course called Mining for Gold, and it's about how to dig deep into Scripture. And so what I do is give my workshop people the tools that they can use to do the same kind of digging that I did to write this book, and find these beautiful gems of truth that you can. Reading the scripture, scripture's powerful, and so you always can find good things.
Yes.
But it's like panning for gold. You can find a little gold if you're panning on the surface, but if you're willing to dig deep, that's where the money is. And so that's where I want people to go to learn to do that on their own. And it's especially important for writers because they want to be communicating the right kind of truth.
Yes. That's a great analogy.
This book is great for not only personal read and personal devotion, but it works great for a group study. And so I'm an educator, so what I did was I made a whole website available to people to download anything for free with lesson plans and handouts and discussion questions and maps and pictures and articles, anything that would help a leader to lead a good discussion. And there's wonderful tangents that you can take out of these chapters and turn into whole lessons, and I give you all the information for that. And it's unexpectedgod.org. It's on the back of the book, but that's a great website. If you want to teach it, it's all right there. It's going to be almost effortless.
What a service. So they purchased the book, and then all these other resources are available, already developed.
I spent as much time just about writing the resources as I did actually writing the book. So
the resources that have been mentioned, the book, the website, the links to those will be below this video. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me, Miss Julie Coleman.
My pleasure.
We appreciate you watching. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you.